We're good to go. Good to go. 7/21, March 7th, 7/21, hot off the mats. Another week, we good?
We're good.
Another week, another opportunity to just, improve on everything we do. This last weekend, Rising Stars Muay Thai. Thank you guys again over there. We had Maquinita. Taylor Becerra was in her second full contact Muay Thai fight, and she came out victorious with a split decision. How did you see the way the fight went?
I think I wasn't breathing. I wasn't breathing as much as I did in my pancreation fight. So I did get tired. The punches to the face, it was definitely a big change for me from going into the cage, punches the body, from the ring, punches the face. But yeah, I was sloppy. But I was surprised I came out victorious.
No, and I'll tell you what, and we're really good at doing this, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later. But I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Lisette Tekpa.
Tough kid.
Dude, she came out like a dog.
Yeah, she's trying to take your head off.
I love it. And Stephen Cow, Coach Stephen Cow over at Omni Movement. Man, that's where we started in Smokers over there.
That was the first.
So I have nothing but respect for the guy. He's always shown us nothing but love and appreciation. He's given us fights when we were just starting out, so, nothing but respect to that team. She came out, and to me, I didn't know she was 15. We took the fight because, hey, we want to fight. That's what we do. I think you said that you did, right? Yeah. Did you take that into consideration? Was that in your mind going into the fight that she was 2 years older than you?
It was, because I knew she was going to be stronger than like the 13-year-old that I had gone up against in the full contact. So I knew she was going to be stronger. She was going to have that, like, the woman strength. She wasn't going to have that little girl strength. So it was different.
Did she?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where from a coaching point, from the side view, I'm very involved with my fighters. I can almost feel things when you guys are fighting. And when she grabbed you and you didn't frame and separate the way we had trained, I automatically knew that when she squeezed you like in an oh shit manner, and then you pushed away in an oh shit manner. Would that be accurate? And an oh shit, me being like, oh, this is real. She's strong. She could control me, would that be inaccurate?
Yes.
You were reactive. You weren't thinking about the techniques that she needed to apply.
Yeah. So that's why I put my head down.
And man, did that knock away at your gas tank a little bit?
Yeah.
It does. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's the thing is that's how detailed we look at things here. Because if you're out there and you're really out there to get better, and you're out there to improve on yourself, not just get the results you want, but really go out there and have control of your machine, that these are things that I think our kids should talk about, and, you think, well, she's 13. Yeah, she's 13, but she's in combat sports, and she's involving herself in situations where she's going to be up against older kids, maybe older kids that are heavier. She was obviously heavier than you, so, if I didn't look at it like that, then I believe that I wouldn't be doing my job as a coach, as an instructor, So, did anything happen that we didn't prepare for, or that you weren't expecting, other than her strength? But you said you were kind of expecting that too. All right. Was there anything else that maybe was difficult, whether it's timing, her speed, or anything? from your point of view?
No, I think I trained for what was going to come, and I believe you already knew what she was going to do, considering you knew what kind of gym she was coming from. Um, and I didn't execute what I needed to do. I started to panic and stop breathing.
Were you a little surprised when they give you the split decision?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think there might be a picture when they raised my hand. I was like,
Yeah, and,
"Whoa."
and that's the thing. And I was even okay with taking the L. And as a coach, and not only a coach, but obviously I'm your father too. That's something that, I'm not gonna be all self-righteous and shit about it, but I can admit what I really see in real life in real time and put aside emotions and bias
Being honest.
and be honest with myself. So for anybody out there, there's I take L's very well. I give people respect where respect's due, because when they accomplish something that they work their asses off for, they deserve that kind of respect. And that's one thing that I think in the back-to-back weekends, being a coach and a dad, like for all the people that go and show up, we love the fans, whether they're booing us or whether they're cheering us.
Mhm.
But like I got ears out there, and I kind of, there's shit that's said in the crowd sometimes. And I think to myself, it's funny, right? Because, we're doing something that is extremely difficult to do. And, parents and fans, they're there supporting, right? And then I think to myself that sometimes some of the things people say, what I'm saying, when their kids out there fighting, I think it's a little, we look at the youth today and kind of, the disarray that our youth is in and our teens are in, but nobody ever points out the adults, and that's what I did notice in the two events is people stop finding reasons to bitch. Like, give credit where credit's due, and when two kids go out there and they fight their hardest, like, keep any other comment other than something positive to yourself.
Do you think, given all those people, alcohol influences those comments?
Well, that and
That was
just
a brewery and
just
then
the environment
a casino.
of violence. I mean, so you're freaking at shows every weekend doing shit.
Yeah.
So you see it, and you hear it.
Yeah.
You hear some of the shit that people say. When the kiddos out there, man, they're a lot of them are working their tails off to be out there.
Yeah.
So why should, everybody should be boosted in this game. This game is something that it's for everybody. So if it's for everybody that's participating, then everybody's worthy of, a good job, man. You
That's how it is in
you
other
didn't get the
countries.
W today. You know what I'm saying?
Like
But
if you watch Juan from Japan, they're extremely quiet. Nobody's yelling. Everybody's clapping when things happen.
No, very respectful,
Uh-huh.
very understanding of the arts.
Do you think it's an America thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And being, a lifestyle, a life, kind of mastery or martial artist, to me, it's disrespectful.
It is.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the kids. It's disrespectful to themselves. And then what kind of example are they setting for this youth? And that's one of the things we talked about in other podcasts where we said, the youth in combat sports, and then the parents and the energies and the way they deal with it.
I think if you had like a person at a t-ball game doing the same thing that some of the people yell out and say, you'd probably have
do.
all the parents complaining, and we'd get that person kicked out.
T-ball's pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And you think to yourself, we shouldn't complain about something that we kind of had a helping hand in.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, if I get disrespected in public, I go ham sometimes, but I do it from a point to where it's like people don't really understand how much work it takes to do what you did in 2 weekends back to back, once in the cage and once in the ring. And then to hear shit like, how old is she? Well, she's bigger than the other one. She's got to be older. Or is she really 13? She's really strong. And it's like, how about just saying, good job, kid? Because what? Because it might make you less of a fucking supporter to the person that you were cheering on, you dipshit. No, man. It's like everybody, we're all humans, and we all feed off the one thing that every human needs is this earth. And we're all here on this fucking earth. So when people are out there doing their thing, I don't think anybody should be disrespected.
But that's not going to change.
No, it's not.
It's probably going to get worse.
It's not. But that's also another reason why I've involved myself in combat sports and professionally, right? Is because we can do something about it. We can do something about us. We can do something about
you take control of your life.
And then even the energies that we have supporting us. If you don't like that shit, we don't like that shit. Well, we're all down for each other. We're all backing each other up. We all want what's best for everybody, not just us right now. Because, shit happens. You get knocked the fuck out sometimes. Sometimes you get sick before the fight. You go out there and you don't have your best performance. Sometimes you feel, like as hard as you work, that maybe you let down the people around you. Like those are real human beings that go through real shit. So for sometimes some of the things I hear and I overhear about the MMA fan base or the combat sports fan base that is now starting to emerge, and it's huge. It's huge now everywhere. You're seeing promotions pop up everywhere, especially youth promotions. To where, to me, youth promotion should be about the building and the development of the youth. And yeah, you want to see some bangers. So if you see some bangers, don't bitch and moan about it. Enjoy it. Because that's what I did enjoy about watching your fight back. Is no, it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't something that I would say was technically sound. But damn it, did you throw down the whole fight?
Yeah.
From bell to bell.
You definitely see that it fired
this
you up.
13-year-old, let me make it really clear to everybody out there that wants to question that shit. This 13-year-old, yes, she's going to be 14 this month, but she is 13 years old.
Was 13 at the fight.
Was 13 at the fight.
Will be 13 tomorrow.
And has only been training 2 years consecutively since she was 11 years old. Yes, she grew up on the mats. Yes, she knows how to throw a punch. But we're not talking about a kid that was, I took all my life to just build her. Nah, man, she danced for a long time. She's into art. She's into other stuff. Like, she's a kid like every other kid.
In comparison, what was funner, dancing or fighting?
Fighting.
Simple answer.
Hey, but if you do it right, if you do Maquina combat right, isn't Maquina combat kind of like dancing?
Yes.
Yeah, you're moving your body.
How often do I dance on you during sparring?
All the time. Yeah, there's not your costume every weekend.
Yeah, so no, kudos to you. I wanted to kind of voice some of that stuff out because, I wrote a post on a little bit about it, and I'm the same person out there that I am over here all the time. And it's one of the things that I've always told you, and it's hard. It's hard for kids today, especially with social media and so much power in their hands, so much control of shit that they don't understand in their hands, and I commend you for dealing with me the way you deal with me. Because, it takes, for me, it's easy to be me. But when I hear about what's out there and the way some of these adults talk and the way some of these kids act and I think about it, well, that's exactly why I am the way I am. And it not only takes a strong parent to do that, it takes a strong kid to put up with it. So I, this is the fight game to me. It's a component of what you're going to apply to life, and that's why I take it so seriously. That's why I don't go to the fights to make friends. That's why we go to the fights to go execute and go
You're
do
there to
our
compete.
job. Because my whole life revolves around going and getting the job
Mhm.
done. And good shit. Proud of you, girl. And on to the next one, which we got today. We got notice, and as soon as we get notice, we say yes. So on April 20th at the Sports
Evo Sports Expo.
Evo Sports Expo, Santa Clara.
Yes.
Yeah. Johnny, the Prodigy Pereira, will be taking a title fight with, who's his opponent? Luis Alves, Faria MMA, right? Fight Club. All right. I remember they went head up in Santa Cruz for the PMT state finals, and Johnny got the better of Alves, and Alves wants runbacks. And thank you very much, Team Faria and young fighter Alves. Thank you for the opportunity. The way we look at it is fighting it's a privilege, it's an honor. And for us to be able to represent, we don't, like I said, we train for champions. We don't care about records. If you're showing up to fight, we're going to respect you like you're a champion. If you don't show us that respect, that's when, that's for me, that's when the fucking savage comes out, the animal comes out, and I know that there's been teams out there that we've gone up against, specifically like in Reno, that,
That's fun though, or at least it is
I
to
love
me.
it, dude. I love it.
It
I
doesn't
don't
bother me
mind
one
turning
bit at all
around
to be
and looking
booed
at
or
like
to
fucking a bunch of 6 foot fucking bikers and going, "Fuck you, fuck you, you shit on us, we shit on you." I'm definitely an eye for an eye guy.
yeah.
And
I enjoy chaos.
to me, it's okay if you can't take the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen, and when you're there, I'm as involved as you are. And if people want to get involved like that, then we can get involved like that. Just understand it. Are you prepared for that? I am.
Think people aren't prepared for that because most of the time doesn't go down.
No.
Everybody's just chatter.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of action.
Yeah. And me, I don't wait for anybody to show up.
When that action finally
and hold me
happens,
back
people are
and
like,
shit
"Oh
like
shit,
that.
oh shit, no, I don't want to anymore."
I go ahead and close distance right now because hey, that's what the energy felt like. But yeah, no, we love that shit. We can do that too, and that's kind of we should be able to have that freedom as people to express ourselves. Yes, but we should never oppress. And sometimes I think the energy's out there, the little, the underlying kind of little, mumbles under their breaths and the shit behind people's backs and shit like that, the little passive aggressive stuff, to me, that's what we feed off of. I feed off of that shit, because it's a very real part of the society today. And when I hear parents talk shit about a 13-year-old kid because they didn't get the result they want, it just reminds me how fucking petty, folks are. And that's what we're absolutely against. So if you're out there and you don't like that shit, and we got your back. We got your back.
If you want to,
Maquina Alpha Fit fully endorses
come by.
You standing up and speaking your mind and wanting the better for everybody, not just this individual or this crew or this whatever, because the reality is, man, fuck it, dude. There's so much to have out there that there's enough for everybody. We choose to fight. So with that, we give respect to people that choose that lifestyle. So, you know, so yeah, with that also too, we got some big events coming up this damn weekend, huh? On the proceed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got some big fights coming up, huh?
Yeah. we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So we got that UFC 299 this weekend.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. There's some good fights on that.
Some really good fights on that one. That one's better than freaking 300.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Well, 300, I think the build up, and when you kind of you build it up that much and then you don't follow through or don't completely give the fans what they want,
Right.
then they lose interest. I mean, we're in the we're in this new 21st century TikTok fucking era now. It's like you can't build it up like that and then keep me waiting and then come out with something kind of just
Some
okay. Yeah, yeah. So I understand that. But I tell you what, the fight game is absolutely one of the most fucking fickle out of any pro sports or anything. And then here's the shitty part about it is you got to fight harder and work harder to make your money in the fight game. And then to fucking deal with disrespect too. Shit. Our brand is definitely going to march forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everybody develops here in the future.
Yeah.
And the future for us is who wants them next. That's it, and that's it. So April 20th, we're back on tap. 299 this weekend. Anything else in the fight community we should probably address?
Just hope we stay.
Stay active, huh?
It's been nice. Last time you were this active, you
Few
became
years.
a freaking double champ.
Double champ.
Aaron as well.
Aaron, yeah, the
Hell-
prototype.
Hell of a run.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
activity is the key to Maquina, I think.
Just
Boy,
doing it.
it fits.
Yeah.
It fits. It's what we do. April 20th, hopefully we can get you a match. Are you looking forward to getting back in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And from doing pancration one weekend to Muay Thai the next weekend, what would you like better?
I don't even think it was the pancration or the Muay Thai. I just liked being in the cage better. I felt more comfortable in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you like about the cage? What made you feel that comfort?
I like that she couldn't like run away, and when she did, could only go in circles.
Nice.
You can't get cornered pretty much. You can't get stuck in the corner.
Yeah, or get stuck through the ropes.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, think about that. Think about, yeah, So, hey, man, look, we're doing something right around here because it's not. I don't know too many spots that can develop kids from a young age into young adults by the time they're 13. Now, there's a lot of kids out there acting like young adults, portraying like young adult shit.
Everybody
But-
wants to grow up.
By dating and drinking and vaping and doing that shit. No. I'm talking about some actual maturity shit that we got going on over here. And, there's no real secret sauce. Everything I talk about on these podcasts is part of the sauce, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no, it's being honest. It's being upfront. It's not being afraid to address or confront shit because of feelings or anything like that. And I think youth is focused too much on that, on redirecting, on softening, on it should be more about educating and teaching the real now. And so I had to hear it when Johnny was 12 and 13 about his age and his size and whoop doop this and I'm hearing it with her. So for everybody out there, shut the fuck up. They're 13 and they're 15 and they're really fucking mature and they work hard for what they do. And that's what we breed over here. We breed a different mindset. I think I coined aggressively different a few years ago. And honestly, that's we got to put that on some shirts and shit.
Yeah.
How do
You know-
how do you feel about that stuff? Because you were the one that was getting and the stuff yelled out at you and stuff, because we can think about it whichever way we want, but it goes back to you.
I don't really care. I mean, unless
And
somebody,
I agree.
yeah,
I don't
unless
really care
somebody
when
comes
people
up to
yell
me
at
and
me
says
either.
something, then it's not.
Yeah,
It doesn't make a difference in the way that
that's
I
a
say it.
mindset thing, huh? You just, it's okay. It is what it is. They're just words. They're just noises. They don't do anything to us.
Yeah, but I'm always that poke the bear motherfucker where it's like, I want to find out if you really feel like that. Like if you say that shit, I want to find out if you really feel like it. But I guess that's why I'm right here and I'm teaching you guys a bit of what the fuck I know, because that's I feel like respect and self-respect and shit isn't something. It's something that's almost it's just expected. Like you give it, or you should get it. No, motherfucker, it's practiced. You got to practice it. You practice it with other human beings on a daily basis, and with the kiddos today, they disrespect because they're allowed to disrespect. Around here, fuck, get away with that. I don't mind cussing in front of teenagers and kids because the reality is that your teenagers right now
Doing it around each other
they
every day.
won't shut the fuck up about fuck this, slut that, whoop, 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 whoop. So don't kid yourselves. When they're not around you,
My kid's good, kid.
no, they're talking
would
like
never.
fucking foul-mouthed heathens, like sailors. Knock that shit off. So for me, what I say to my daughter, the way I raised her is, look, if you want to cuss in a conversation with me, you better be able to hold an intellectual, engaged, adult conversation. And you better put in the cuss words kind of almost like rhythmically to where I don't give a shit because you're making so much sense. And until you can do that, no, don't cuss when you're talking to me, because I can cuss and I can put it into a rhythm where it's like, no, there's actually a message here. Sometimes I think back in the days when I was growing up, cussing was a sign of ignorance. Now cussing is a sign of honesty. They've done studies on it, right? They've done and whatever survey studies. There's statistics on everything. That now it's more acceptable, and it is more acceptable in our media. It's more acceptable from fucking Dana White's one of the most successful fucking guys on this planet, and he cusses whenever the hell he wants, and everybody's just like, yeah, cool, we get you.
Freedom of speech,
Yeah,
too.
freedom of
Say
speech.
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
Yeah. So we live in times where I think we have to cut the fucking fat and get to the point. Stop. We've talked about coddle culture. We've talked about communications with teens. I think we were joking about it this week or last week where when you say something to a teen, sometimes they just kind of nod their heads and oh yeah, and then you're like, so when you repeat the question to them, then they go, oh no, they're not really listening
It's an
to what you're
impulsive
saying.
reaction of
They're
just what they
impulsively
heard.
reacting, and then my joke now is, you want it in writing? Should I text it to you?
Emojis?
And then emojis and shit. So then that way
Put it in TikTok.
your brain can process,
Go get it.
and then you'll be able to answer my simple question on, how you feel today. Yeah, great, yeah. Oh, so you feel great today? Oh, no.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, well,
Yes.
fuck, dude. Here, let me text you, and then you can write it, and then I'll wait for your response. So, all right, here, we're like, I'm a smartass, and my kid, a lot of me has rubbed off.
It has a lot of joy to your life to be a smart ass.
It
makes
does.
it fun.
It does. It does. Even when you're a smart ass to me, but then I analyze your smart ass comments, and then I twist them around. And, and fucker, you're a smart ass to me. Yeah. But it's trying to be safe and say safe things to your children today is a waste of fucking time. There's nothing safe. There's just fact. And I think if we stop bullshitting and we just got down to the facts of whatever circumstances we're dealing with, whether it's our education system, whether it's the environment inside of our education system for our children, specifically our public education system, like your kid doesn't understand why they feel like they have to have an updated version of an iPhone or why they have to have their hair cut a certain way. It's just the way it is. And back in the days, it was easier to kind of control that shit because it wasn't as prevalent. Now everything is. Every they have access to everything right now. So that puts your kid in danger if you don't know what your kid's doing on their phone, if you don't know what your kid's doing at school, and
I think because of it too, they also feel like they're more connected and being judged by more people that aren't even relevant to their lives.
And they're more adult because that's what the adult world is about now, and folks out there, parents out there, man, don't be afraid to take that shit away from your kid and actually sit down and talk to them about some real shit. I think we've talked about, man, some deep, almost psychology type stuff to where I can break down what your friends really mean when they say things that they say, or patterns of the way you would talk that was kind of incoherent. And I'd explain to you why it's incoherent. And I understand that there's a group of kids that talk like that, but they talk like that because they're all feeding off of their energy, right? And sometimes you get lost in that shit, and that shit don't apply to real world.
Have you heard of the mob mentality? How the thoughts of people change because of the chaos that everybody's in.
Yeah, I
Their
know,
minds start
and
acting
we
a
don't
little bit
realize that it affects us from one environment to another
Mhm.
because we take it into that environment. Like that's how deep of conversations I've had with my 13-year-old. Why? Because I'm not scared to have those conversations because all she has to say is, "Dad, I don't completely understand that." Or nod her head and then behave in a adverse or counter matter to what we had already addressed. And then I'd be like, okay, this is where she's 13 and she's not fully getting what I'm saying. And then I, as a
Being a parent.
yeah. And then I, as a parent, can make the adjustments needed in communication and in whatever kind of parental protocol I'm going to take to dealing with the situation until my kid gets it. Because, that's my job as a parent. So for me, everything I do with exercise and with our combat training, man, I do it in life, huh? And it's kind of cool because now you're getting to see it on a freaking daily basis from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, huh? Yeah. Because you want to share with everybody out there why you're being educated by what is it? What's that place called? The
Academy.
Academy. Yeah, you're an Academy student now, huh? So yeah, let's talk about maybe some of your education and what your educational goals are moving forward, as well as we've talked about some of your combat stuff. Let's talk about your education stuff. Let's get serious, girl. You wanted to be on the podcast. You're on the podcast. No.
Do you like it though?
What?
The work
Academy?
you're doing by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like you're
going to
learning
school
more?
online now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you went from the public school setting, you went to online schooling. I want to say 73 days before your 8th grade year was over, huh?
Yeah.
All right. And it was a decision that I ultimately made. But did you encourage that decision, young lady?
Yes.
Yes, you did. You did. Right. And again, for everybody out there that there's no such thing as perfect parenting. There's no such thing as your kid being perfect and they don't make mistakes.
No perfect anything.
No. So you kind of got involved a little bit in that 8th grade, that teenage energy, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it got to the point to where you were doing things that you knew.
Was wrong.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were getting in trouble, right? And what did it start with?
Hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And trying to what?
Fit in.
Trying to fit in, huh?
Yeah.
With a bunch of kids. And I bet you almost all the kids that we're talking about here, they probably all have phones, huh? Oh, and again, my kid does not have a phone. And the exact reason for why she does not have a phone is the same reason why she eventually went from, it started at the beginning of the year, you had got detention.
Yeah. And then I had gotten in school detention, and it had gone to out of school
Out of
suspension.
school, yes. So me as a parent, I took that as an opportunity to be like, no, you're not going to suspend my kid from school. I'm going to take my kid out of school because I, as a parent, knowing my kid doesn't have a phone, so I communicate with my child. You know, what I decided was my child is under the influence of other children that are under the influence of things that they don't fully understand. All right. So they involve themselves in things that, you know, are going to affect them adversely as they grow up. So what I did is as a parent, I took the initiative and I decided that that environment was only going to get worse because high school is, it does, you know, the behaviors and the trouble and the drugs and the sex, and it doesn't get better in high school.
The consequences are just more dire. Like
Yeah, they're more severe.
they're more severe.
They're more severe.
Mhm.
So I pulled the plug, and you're going to Academy now. How do you like going to school online, Ma?
Like it better. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot easier. I can focus on one class at a time, and I don't have other people around me trying to talk or trying to basically just talk
Be
to
cool,
me.
hey? They're
Yeah.
just being cool. They're just being
Yeah.
cool. I was that cool kid in school, and I fucked up my education, and that's why now I'm willing to beat the fuck out of people and train people to beat up other people in order to pay my bills. You know, and that's why I'm sitting here telling the truth to anybody that wants to listen, because the reality is education is part of a systematic economical ladder. And right now, the education in our public school system, honestly, I'm not blaming it on teachers. I'm not blaming it on board members, superintendent. It's just broken. And if you really want to educate your child, I believe you need, as a parent, you need to take a little bit more initiative and do a little bit more work on your kid.
Do you think there's a way to fix that education program?
The problem with it
Or
is,
just,
is it's built
make
like
it
every
better?
system.
It is. No,
Yeah.
I get that. But
Yeah.
do you think we can do anything to try to
We
make
can
it
do
better?
what I'm doing.
But not
Because-
every parent can do that.
No,
Like,
no,
you have the
they can't.
luxury of having her with you
But-
at all times.
I remember saying this when COVID started. I said this to educators and teachers that would come here, and I said that alternative education centers are going to be a big thing in the future. And I saw it because I saw that distance, the way they were teaching kids at that moment was more to appease governmental protocol than to educate children. And since they've come back, it almost seems like the tune hasn't changed. It doesn't matter about the kids anymore. We have this system in place that we have to stick to. There's protocol. Teachers, you know, with classrooms full of kids, 42, 45
Which is
kids.
you can't
teach
focus on
anybody.
that many kids.
All your kids are going to go do, they're all going to share what they fucking look up on their phones. They're all going to get into each other's business. They're going to create drama, and you're going to have a bunch of basic, you know, teenage reality shows going on. And I know people that work at schools, and they can vouch for that, is that's what's happening. You know, how do you get an education like that?
You don't.
So you don't. So I think it's a mixture. Technology, we can't stop it. It's running everything now. So I think it's part of our responsibility to mix in the technology with the up-to-date human logic.
We need
And
to
I
learn
say
the
up to
balance.
date human logic, huh?
We need to learn the balance.
And yeah, and I say up to date human logic because to me, common sense is not common to who. If you weren't taught it, it's not common to you. So if things like respect, self-respect, loyalty, honor, shaking people's hands, looking in their eyes, taking your L's, you know what I'm saying? Like a man, if that shit ain't taught, then it ain't common. So we can make it common if we teach it and we instill it. And that's what I do with my business. That's what I do with my fighters. That's what I do is you guys are ambassadors of that. So we live by it, and we don't just teach it and preach it like we do it. But there's absolutely wiggle room to be your own person.
Yeah, you
And-
should be.
Absolutely.
Should be encouraged.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everybody's trying to be like each other,
Yeah. And,
right?
and
Trying to fit in.
and that's what got you into your predicament. And you're functioning better now because you said it yourself. I can focus. I can focus. I think that's very, very important to point out. You said it. Do you believe that you would be able to focus if you took the path that you have taken? Think about that. Yeah.
I think it would have just taken longer for you to figure that out.
Yeah, because I would always have my dad at home and I'd have him in training, so I would still be learning, but it would take me.
It would
I
have been a
go
longer
down-
process.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
go down a
'cause-
path and then go down to the
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because I can remember when you danced, it got to the point to where you got so good at dancing that you would choreograph your
boring.
own stuff, and then the stuff that the teachers would give you was like you would never practice it because it was boring and easy, and you'd wait to the last minute, so you weren't being taught anything. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of said, "Hey, look, let's steer you away from dance." I bought you a basketball rim, and we bought
Yeah, you
some
did basketball for a
softballs.
little
Yeah,
bit.
we bought some softballs and gloves, and like go somewhere else. And for anybody out there thinking that I'm vicariously living through my child, you're wrong again. All right, because I did not push my child to do this. I exposed my child to this. Just like I've exposed my child to honest conversation, just like I've exposed my child to eye contact, just like I've exposed my child to honesty, and then I've exposed her to the realities of life, and I think the sooner we do it, the better off our kids are going to be, and if anybody needs help out there with that shit, that's what we're here for. I have a whole business that I'm building off of it. I'm not a gym. Again, I'm not a gym. This is not a gym. This is a training facility. This is for higher learning. And learning of what? Learning of your body with the fitness program, your nutrition with the meal planning, your confidence with the Alpha Pup self-defense program, your motor skills with the Parkinson's, stuff. Shit, I got athlete stuff that I do, but it all runs parallel. It all runs universal. It all runs the same way. Can you learn it and apply it now?
Mhm.
And that's the thing is I think that's the best way to teach kids is teach them something and then have them apply it right now. No, don't test up, relax. And then of course there's going to be periods of tension and what I call is doing the wet noodle, where kids do the wet noodle where they have no muscle
That's
in their body.
hilarious. to
That's
watch.
hilarious, dude.
It's
Yeah.
so funny.
When we go
to
over
watch a little
techniques,
kid just
the kids,
They look like those car salesman things that they
Yeah.
have, that little inflatable things that just go.
I gotta
Yeah.
ask sometimes too. Hey, can you squeeze this? And then they'll squeeze it. I'll be like, can you squeeze that? And they'll squeeze that. And I'll be like, hey, check it out. When we do this, can you squeeze all that at the same time that you're doing it? And they'll be like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're asking
And I'll
too
be like-
much of me
I'll
right
be
now.
like, I tell you what,
One thing at a time.
the more you practice, the more you. So that that is in a nutshell, like for
It's
us,
funny. It's hilarious.
that's
a good
that's
time.
learning. that's learning. And you know, technology gets us away from that sometimes, so I think, we got to mix in a little bit of, our ancestry, our roots, man.
I think I remember reading a little bit about it a while ago. There was a town in France, and I think they publicly banned phone uses. Like you can have it at
Yeah.
restaurant. There's no I don't think the law is enforcing it, but they're encouraging businesses and stuff like that to take people off their phones and not allow it in those public areas.
Good idea. Phones aren't allowed on the mats here. For
No,
anybody
you're
out
doing
there, yeah.
stuff.
Well,
There's no time to be on
I'm
it.
throwing too much shit at you. I'm making you think. I'm making you move. I'm making you connect, and then I'm making you remember the shit. And here's the thing: is for anybody that says that's too hard for my child, that's why your kid is the way you don't want him.
That's
to
why a
be.
kid's a wet noodle.
Yeah, and a lot of times, parents, don't fuck around, man. Like if your kid ain't the way you would kind of appreciate your child to be, is maybe a little bit more mature sometimes, or maybe not such a, dun-dun-dun-dun, and maybe answer your questions and acknowledge you when you're talking to them. Like it's okay to put them out there. You're not going to send them in this whirlwind of depression and make them feel like less of themselves. You're doing it because in the world, we have to learn to stand up and speak for ourselves, hold our chins up high, and be proud of what we're doing, why we're doing it, who we're doing it with, and, the whole purpose behind it. I think we allow social media, we allow things to affect our externals like you did. And if I wasn't such a, guard dog, you would have went down the path that a lot of teenagers out there are going down every freaking day, and to your teens out there that are going through this shit, man, I'm not only going to teach you how to fight, I'm going to sprinkle some truth on you and let you know how the world really is. And those people that say that they care about you, that are quick to turn their backs on you because of something new on their phone, or someone else has got this to offer them. And you know what? Those aren't friends, man. Those
Yeah,
aren't
actions
friends.
speak louder than words.
No, and I was explaining it to my daughter. We were talking on the drive today, I think. And I was saying, like, the span that you're in high school, like 4 years,
Not that long.
is a blip. Like, it ain't even that long to let people ruin your life.
Yet it does.
Yeah. And yeah, that goes out there for all you guys out there that think you're great boyfriends, and all you girls out there that think you want to keep a boyfriend in high school. Get the fuck out of here. If you think that a boy is going to offer you something when you're 14, 15, 16 years old, you are just delusional. All right. And if your mom or your dad is out there kind of reinforcing that shit by allowing
They
you,
are also
they
delusional.
are also delusional.
You guys have a delusional family.
Yes. I think around here we should build our children before we let them fuck their lives up like that, and in building them, you got to tell them the truth about life, and that's one thing where fucking up as much as I did in my life has allowed me to parent in the way I'm parenting you. What are your thoughts on that? And that's okay if you say that, hey, Dad, sometimes, you're mean. You can't call me a dick. You can think it. I'm all right with it if you think it. Yeah, share with us that, huh, honey?
I mean, I don't always agree with the parenting style, but it is going to help me in the long run. So
Yeah.
Wise.
And
That's cool that you can acknowledge that too.
Yeah. No, and then so me being, I love to conversate about stuff, then I'm gonna say, well, what is the non-agreement on? What? Yeah. It's non-agreement on. Could it be my delivery? Could it be my timing? So I'm going to help you with this answer too, so you don't feel like I'm just putting you on the spot, right? So I'm going to help you with that. So like the energy or what?
I think the timing.
Timing.
Yeah. I think
why?
it was more when I did go to public school when I was having a bad day, and then I would say something that you didn't like, or that I delivered it in a like a like a degenerate kind of way.
Yeah.
You would
Well,
you
no,
would
no,
yell
yeah,
at
yeah,
me,
yeah.
and I
Well,
didn't like it.
and I totally get that, right? And what you were doing, see, and this is awesome because this is fucking live. This is happening right now, right? This is fucking awesome, right? So for me, right? What I was
This is
actually
juicy.
no,
Yeah.
what check it out. What I was actually addressing was the energies that I'm telling all teenagers and parents about right now. Was the fact that they get involved in the energies that they're sharing with each other, and then that energy carries out into the real world. And if they have a phone, they stay kind of disconnected and delusional because that is their outlet. So as parents, we won't recognize it if their heads are in their phones. We will recognize it if we're communicating. And when you would communicate those things to me, honestly, they sounded like dramatic theatrical madness. And it was like, why should I sit here and listen without giving you my true opinion of what I'm hearing? So the true opinion that I had was, I don't think you fully understand why you're all emotional right now. And I think you're getting sucked in by the energies that you came from. And then lo and behold, what the hell happened? You fell victim to that, huh? Yeah. And you put yourself in a very difficult position to where, you could have gotten
In much
in
more trouble than I
huge
did.
trouble where, yes, people could have called
It could have led to more
law
than what-
enforcement,
yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, they wouldn't have done shit. So don't think that, something would have came out of that. That's not the type of kid you are, you know. But because I know that's not the type of kid you are, is why I had to step in and do what I did. And I know it's hard for parents to do it. I tell you what, when I was your age, I wish one of mine would have done it. All right. But it didn't. And I had to learn my own shit, my own way. That's not being mad at anybody. It's not bringing shit back. That's just a fact. And that's what I'm talking about is we have to be real with ourselves internally. And we have to be able to accept and objectively look at facts of why things happen in our lives, why decisions are made, why influences are there, why, the people you are hanging out with, there's so many components to it. If we're not aware of ourselves, how can we be aware of the components that basically drag us away from ourselves? So for me, for kids, it's the devil. For anybody out there, religious out there that wants to, put a negative spin on, dude, it takes your kid away from you. And if you're not watching your kid like a hawk, it'll steal your kid. And I'll tell you what, I like to fight in all aspects of life, and I will absolutely fight tooth and nail for my child, any day of the week, on the drop of a dime. So for me, when you did that, babe, you put me in that position. So, I'm a fighter. That's what I do. So I'm glad I did, because ever since then, you've had a lot of fun and you've been kind of successful in the fight game, huh? So to all you folks out there that wanted to say some shit because I knew the gossip went around about my kid when she fucked up, fuck you. All right. She's fine. We're fine. Why? Because we have that mentality, man. You can't hold the dog down. We're going to fight back every step of the way. Just like I knew how you were going to respond.
Mhm.
We don't have to think about that shit. It's automatic. Why? Because that's the way we learn. That's the way we do it. And that's the way we train it on a daily basis. We're not showing up and pretending to be anything other than who we are when we're there. And it's not pretend, motherfuckers. It's for real. So if you come at me sideways, I'm going to come at you fucking sideways. If you come at me respectfully, I'm going to come at you respectfully. And that's the way I teach my kids to do. That's the way I teach my seniors to do. That's the way I teach everybody to do around here, and then that way, you know what you're getting all the time. And in today's, technological world, it's a crapshoot with some of these motherfuckers. Everybody's saying shit and ain't nobody doing shit about it. So we're gonna stay on that, in that lane, on that path. And thank you, man. Thank you for coming back out and talking about your fight honestly. And then thank you even better for delving into, personal shit that everybody deals with. Ain't nobody better than nobody. We're all doing this thing together, and that's the thing is we're doing this thing together, schools, I know the parents, I know the teachers and the administrators, I know their team, they're working together. Your guys' hands are tied. Parents, step it the fuck up. Step it the fuck up, because right now, public schools, honestly, I'd rather take my kid out. And I'm not blaming the school system. Honestly, I'm going to blame parenting, and I'm just going to do a better job at parenting. And if that means I got to keep a better eye on my kid and talk to him more and sit down and do homework with them and, be real with them, then, man, that's what it means. It's funny because a lot of times that's what kids want. And they don't even need a lot of your time if you're busy and you're working all the time. But I guarantee there'll be times where you can talk to your kid where you're over there like this. And yeah, I'm calling you out. Don't get mad. It's for the better of your kid and your family. So if you hate on me for that, again, yeah, you know what I think about that shit. So on that note, thank you for coming in. Lisa, we didn't talk to you too much today, girl. But we got shit coming up, and I know you're doing shit on the back burner. So yeah, until the next one, folks. Thank you.